to hear about the things that really impact Black homeownership, wealth creation. When we talk about
taking this step to learn about homeownership. So how many of y'all want to become first-time home buyers? Awesome, 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 awesome. I'm so glad that you are here. I was in Seattle with a group that does a lot of advocacy for housing. And they told me a story that just really frames why it's so important for you all to go all the way through this process. So they told a story about two families, a white family and a Black family. The white family, this was from 1976. The reason why 1976 was so significant is because that's the last year that they allowed redlining in Seattle. So redlining is where the government put lines on maps and said that Black people can't buy houses in certain areas. That was legal for them to do. So 1976 was the last year that that was legal. So with that, we looked at the Black family in 1976 and the white family in 1976. Now the white family, couple got married, they bought a house. So they bought the house, they ended up having children, they raised their children in this house. It's time for their kids to go to college. Well, great, now they've had this house for about 15, almost 20 years. They used the house, the equity in the house, to pay for their children to go to college. So the kids go to college without no student loan debt, right? They are able to pay for college. Then kids graduate from college. Now it's time for the daughter to get married. They paid for the daughter's wedding for the daughter to get married and be able to keep on moving on with her life. Time for the son to get married. Had a daughter and a son. They gave the son, by this time they had decided to sell the house, right? Your kids graduate, leave, you sell your house. So they sold the house. By this time they had a lot of equity in the house. They almost paid it off. They sold the house. They used all the money they made with that house. They bought a condo, brand new, downtown, and they put a lot of money in savings for retirement. So they paid for the daughter's wedding. They gave the son 20% down payment for the son and his wife to buy their first house. This is what happened from the same house they bought in 1976. Let's talk about the Black family. Black family was denied a mortgage because of redlining, so they could not buy the house in 1976. Couple kept on working, kept on trying, got married, had a couple kids. 10 years later, they were able to, redlining got outlining and loans and products came about. 10 years later, they were able to become homeowners. So 10 years later, the Black family buys a home. And guess what? Real estate. Now instead of paying $100,000 for the house, they got to pay $150,000 for the same house in the same neighborhood. Why? Because 10 years have gone by. So now it's time for the Black family's kids to go to college. Well, they just bought the house a few years ago, and they bought the house for $50,000 more, so they don't have the equity in the house to pull out to bring it to so the kids can go to college, right? So now the kids go to college, but the kids have to get a student loan so they pay for college. So now the kids have to encumber the debt so that they can get a college degree. Now it's time for the daughter to get married. The kids are out of the house, so the couple looks and says, can we sell this house and buy something else cash? What do we need to do while kids are out the house? Well, they look at how much houses cost now, look at how much equity they have, and the Black family decides we're not going to be able to move to a fancy condo, brand new house downtown. We're going to just try to hunker in where we are. But now they're retiring with a 30-year-old house, with a 30-year-old roof, with 30-year-old plumbing, no energy efficiency. All of this happening from 1976, if y'all are following. Now it's time for the daughter to get married. Well, they still trying to pay off their house. They still trying to do energy efficiency. They still trying to fix it up so that they can retire. So the daughter and the husband goes out and they do what? What do? Go into debt, trying to pay for the wedding. So now they're not in a position to buy a house because they got the loan debt from the college, remember that? And now they got the new debt from the wedding. Time for the son to get married. They don't have 20% down to give the son to help him because again, they still trying to pay off their house. So I'm telling you all of this because the end of the story from 1976 to now is that white family's net worth is over $1 million because of the first house, the new house, all of the equity for the daughter, all the equity for the son. That Black family's net worth is under $50,000. So what I'm telling you that is because we have the opportunity now to do it. We have programs. He just showed you about programs that the city will help you do with $100,000 in down payment assistance. So to me, when I think about how hard they fought for us not to get the house, we got to fight hard now because we have the opportunity to get the house. The other thing that I want y'all to realize from that story is how much of a tool real estate is. That one little house in 1976 paid for their retirement house, paid for their kids to go to college without student loan debt, paid for them to retire, paid for their daughter's wedding, paid for their son 20% down on another house. That one little house that we trying to get y'all to get, that one little house for that white family did all of that to get them to over $1 million of worth. Now, it took 40 years to get there, but that one house was the first step in that journey. You saw how they used it as a tool over and over again. It was a financial tool. So we want you to get a house. We want you to love the house. We want you to feel comfortable in the house and love the neighborhood. But it's a financial tool. At the end of the day, we have watched other cultures take this tool of a house and do everything they need to do financially with. And we have not taken advantage of that. Black homeownership is at 45%. We're the lowest group. Asians have come into the country, got 54% homeownership. Hispanics have come into the country, got 49% homeownership. But we know why we're here, because the odds were stacked against us. But now that that's changed, my encouragement to you is to take advantage of the moment. Remember this story when you go to the bank and you got to talk to the council, where's Gail? When Gail call you and say, we got to meet Tuesday, and you say, oh, I really don't feel like going over there in traffic to meet with her. Remember the story. Remember the financial tool. Remember the opportunity that you have to change your family. It's changed other races, other generations. We have to use the tool in the same way. So just know I'm so proud of you all for taking the first step, for being here, for getting the education. But my request to you all, I came all the way, I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning, get all the way here so I can tell y'all, don't stop. Get the tool, let it be a resource for you and your family, and build generational wealth. Thank you all.